Power is often mistaken for movement, for armies on the march, for speeches shouted from thrones, for hands that never stop grasping. But Lao Tzu saw through this illusion. He saw that the greatest force in the world is also the quietest. It flows without pushing. It bends without breaking. It wins without fighting. This is the secret of Wu Wei. Doing nothing, yet accomplishing everything. It is the opposite of what the world teaches. And yet, it is the very reason why kingdoms rise and fall, while rivers continue to carve valleys through stone. Lao Tzu lived during the spring and autumn period, an age where rulers fought endlessly for power. Every answer was the same: raise more soldiers, issue more laws, build more walls. But Lao Tzu turned his back on this madness. Legend says he grew so weary of society's hunger for control that he mounted a water buffalo and left civilization behind. At the border, a guard begged him to leave behind his wisdom before vanishing into the mountains. Those writings became the Tao Te Ching. In it, he revealed a vision of power unlike anything else. He wrote that the soft overcomes the hard, that emptiness holds more than fullness, that the ruler who interferes least rules best. These were not words of comfort. They were words of warning, because he understood that the more tightly rulers clutched their power, the sooner it slipped through their fingers. Control, when forced, is brittle, and what is brittle always breaks. Wu Wei is usually called non-action, but that translation is a shadow of what it truly means. It is not laziness, it is not apathy, it is alignment with the deeper current of reality. The river does not strain to move the mountains. It flows around them, wearing them down grain by grain. No effort, no force, and yet no fortress can resist it. The sage does the same. Instead of pushing against every obstacle, he waits for openings. Instead of exhausting himself in battles that cannot be won, he allows time to fight for him. This is why Lao Tzu compared leadership to water. Water nourishes all things without demanding credit. It seeks the low places others avoid. It is humble, yet unstoppable. Through non-action, you let the world waste its strength while you conserve yours. And when the right moment comes, you move, with precision, with force, with inevitability. Restraint is one of the most frightening forms of power, because it cannot be read, it cannot be predicted. When an enemy holds his tongue, you wonder what he's planning. When a rival does not retaliate, you start to doubt yourself. When a leader doesn't force his will, the people bend toward him naturally. The impatient reveal themselves, the restless consume themselves, but the one who waits grows stronger with each passing moment. This is why Lao Tzu compared leaders who meddle too much to cooks who spoil the stew. The more hands stir the pot, the worse the flavor becomes, but the one who knows when to step back creates harmony. Restraint is not weakness. It is controlled silence. It is the pause before the strike that carries more weight than the strike itself. Think of an archer. If he rushes, his arrow flies wild. If he waits, breath steady, body still. When the string finally releases, the arrow cannot miss. There is a reason Wu Wei unsettles people. It feels like surrender, but it is not. It is a mirror, a trap. The one who does nothing forces others to reveal themselves. They grow uncomfortable in silence. They begin to overcompensate, and in their frenzy, they destroy themselves. A man who cannot stay still will run until he collapses. A general who cannot endure waiting will attack before the battle is ready. A tyrant who cannot trust the natural order will drown in his own laws. Lao Tzu understood the psychology of restraint. That silence is louder than words. That stillness is heavier than motion, that the void you create forces others to fill it with their weakness. Doing nothing is not surrender, it is patience weaponized. You may think this wisdom belongs only to ancient kings and sages, but it belongs to you, now more than ever. In business, rivals rush to expand, to overreach, but the one who waits, who lets them stumble under their own weight, inherits the field. In relationships, most reveal themselves too quickly. They chase, they demand, they cling. But the one who holds back, who does not force connection, becomes the one others cannot ignore. In self-mastery, people battle every thought, every impulse, until they are exhausted. But the one who sits with the storm, who lets it pass without resistance, discovers a strength unshakable. Modern life worships busyness, endless movement, a constant flood of noise. But Lao Tzu whispers across time, stop, step back, let the river flow. By doing less, you see more. By waiting, you gain timing. By aligning, you gain power. Here lies the deepest paradox. The more you try to control the world, the less control you truly have. But the moment you stop grasping, things fall into place. This is why the Tao Te Ching says, the world is sacred. It cannot be improved. If you try to change it, you will ruin it. It is a warning. The harder you try to force outcomes, the more chaos you create. But when you trust the process, when you let go of the need to dominate every moment, control comes to you without struggle. Power is not always taken. Sometimes it is received. Lao Tzu's wisdom endures because it speaks to something timeless. Armies crumble, empires fall, but the river continues, soft, silent, unstoppable. Remember this, the oak breaks in the storm, the reed bends and survives. The man who forces the world burns out. The one who waits inherits it. In a world obsessed with action, movement, and noise, the true ruler is the one who can master silence, stillness, and patience. This is the hidden power of Lao Tzu, the strength of doing nothing.